Okay, the Parse SugarCRM.log button and the History button. We're going to go over both of them. This is the Parse SugarCRM.logs button. You can see it's got access to all of the files. I've got 3 different files rotated out. I'm going to stick with the SugarCRM.log file. This basically goes out to your log file and it parses out any query that it finds. So if you're in fatal mode in your logging, you're only going to see fatal queries, which may be what you want. If you're in info level, then you're going to see all queries, and I'm in info level, so this is all queries that Sugar has run. If you go down and you hover over a parenthesis, it's going to highlight the 2 parentheses in yellow and draw a green line between them. So you can sort of see what the grouping is. That helps in the bigger queries. Some of the stuff that we're doing in the DB2 has huge trees that it makes it much easier to figure out what's in a grouping if everything is highlighted. If you hit run a query, it goes ahead and sucks that query in and runs it for you so you can see what the results are of it, including any errors. If it ran into some errors, you're going to see those on the screen as well. Very useful for debugging if you need to see what Sugar saw when it ran a particular query. Every query is in here, and every query is in here once. So if it ran 1,000 times, if it's listed 1,000 times in the log, it's only going to show up here once. And you can use the find function in your browser to find, if you're looking for, an insert into accounts query or a select all from accounts or whatever, you can find it that way. And it usually takes a little bit of searching, but everything should be in there in order, unless we're talking duplicates. Obviously, that kind of messes up the order. But it's all there, and it's if you search long enough, you'll find what you're looking for. To reduce the searching, if I'm trying to debug something, I will set my log size to 2 meg instead of 10 meg, so it rolls over a little bit faster, or I will just blank out the Sugar log, then do what I need it to do, that one button click, and then I'll run this, and that way the number of queries I got to look through is very small. But if you look through a 10 meg log, it's going to take a little bit to parse through it, and it's going to take a little while to search through it. But it's still a very useful thing. You can't really do this. The only other way to do this is through cutting and pasting, which in some cases might be a little easier than searching through this list. But for the most part, if you blank out your Sugar log and just do one button click, there's usually no more than 30 or 40 queries to look through, and most of them are queries like this that are easily tossed out to find the query that you're looking for. The History button, it simply brings up a list of all the queries that you've run in SweetDBAdmin. You can see here I've run quite a few. So this just shows us everything that's been run. This is in a file out in your cache directory, so you can just delete it if you wanted to start over. And in another release, maybe the next release, I'll have a delete all button, so that you don't have to go out there and do it manually. We have a delete individual button, so if you had a query that had a typo in it and you didn't want to accidentally run it again, you could just hit that button and delete the query from this list. And that's about all it's useful for, but it's pretty useful for running the same query over and over again. If you're making tweaks to your database and you want to see what the new tweak, how it affected the results, this is a fairly easy way to go find a query that you just ran, or a query that you ran yesterday or something. Possibly I'll add some date features into this screen or something like that. I'm sure it'll change before we get out of beta. That's about it for History and Parse. Talk to you later.